everybody, and welcome to my review of Scream! No, not Scream as in Scream, but Scream as in Scream, as in, you know, Scream 5 or 5 Cream or whatever. You know, Hollywood, how's about we stop doing this, you know? Calling sequels with the same name as what they're based on, like Halloween, or to a lesser extent, The Final Destination, or, you know, we've even got like Predator and The Predator, and it's just, you know, come up with some decent titles. Even Scream 5 would be better. But yeah, as long as we're not calling it 5 Cream, then let's just get on with this. So this is a movie that I had no intention of seeing. I had no interest in this thing because, in my opinion, the very first Scream, when it came out in '96, it was groundbreaking stuff. You know, this was a movie that was self-referential. It was a love letter to horror fans. Like, you know, we all got on board with the characters. We were like, oh my God, you know, we can relate to these people because they're sitting around talking about horror movies. And it worked so well. And then the subsequent sequels just were kind of hit and miss. I know a lot of people love Scream 2. I wasn't huge on it. Scream 3 is pretty forgettable, and I just rewatched Scream 4 the other night because I'd only ever seen it once, like back when it came out. I hadn't actually rewatched it since then, and I largely didn't remember it, so I just watched it again last night, and yeah, it's great. It's a really good film, but you know, all of these movies just kind of felt like they were just cashing in on the success of the first one because it had to be a franchise. And largely for that reason, you know, when the trailers came out for Scream 5, I was kind of like, oh my God, really? Is there really some milk left in that cow? Are we still just, you know... And so, yeah, I wasn't interested. I got an invite to a press screening, and I was like, nah, pass. But then, yeah, I started hearing some good things about it. And one thing, though, that really got me interested was when because I didn't know this to start with, I found out that this movie was directed by the two guys who did Ready or Not. Now, Ready or Not is one of my most favorite horror films that has come out this century so far. I love that film. And that kind of made me think, well, ooh, maybe this movie might have something in it. Anyway, so look, I went and saw it today, and holy heck, it's really good. So this is a real-time sequel. It takes place 25 years after the events of the first film. And yeah, basically, you know, you've kind of seen it all before. Like, things are happening again. People are getting killed by Ghostface. We have Dewey, played by David Arquette, Sidney Prescott, played by Neve Campbell, and Gale Weathers, played by Courtney Cox, returning, as well as a few other characters. I'm not going to say too much here, no spoilers, but you do see some familiar faces popping up from previous chapters, and yeah, this, you know, same old plot. They got to figure out who it is, and you know, we'll find out who it is by the end of the movie, of course. But there was something about the way this film was done. It was done right, and by that I mean it didn't feel like just a cash grab. It actually felt like a relevant sequel. I know that the previous films are credited for their meta humor and their self-referential nature, and I sort of felt it got a little bit too much towards the fourth one. You know, it was kind of like, wow, are we really going through the rules of horror movies again? Because, you know, we know them by now. But this film, I guess it's because of the time period that it's come out in, where we live in a world where, you know, we are saturated with sequels and reboots and remakes, and I think they refer to it as requels in this film. And it's so true, you know, and that was another reason why I just kind of thought, like, this movie's not going to be very good. But because we do live in this time period, and this movie, it sums it up so well in its narrative. Like, it does poke fun at all that, as the previous films have done, but it sort of feels a little different this time around. It sort of felt a little refreshing in a way. I thought the performances all around were really good. All the new characters were actually interesting this time around. Like, that was something I felt was lacking in sort of the later sequels that we've had previously, were that the characters weren't that interesting or memorable. This time around, yeah, we got some interesting characters, and they've got some interesting backstories and stuff like that, which again I won't get too deeply into. And one thing that I was really happy with, the kills in this movie. If you're a gorehound, you are going to be really happy with this film. There is some stuff in this movie that was like really kind of and I liked the reveal at the end. I thought it was, you know, kind of plausible in a way. Like, it sort of made sense in the context of the story. I wasn't disappointed with you know, who the killer was when the mask came off. I thought, yeah, you know, it was actually a character that I kind of thought it might be, but, you know, with these movies, you can never tell, you know, because you can be suspecting one person and then they get killed and it's like, okay, it wasn't that person. So, yeah, there was someone who I sort of almost hoped it was going to be them. Yeah. But anyway, I better not say too much, hey? But above all, this movie, it just really felt like a solid chapter in the series. It didn't feel like a movie that, you know, has sort of come on 11 years later or whatever since the previous one. Yeah, it felt like it belonged with the other four. Like, it is, you know, a continuing series now. I don't know where they're going to take it next. I mean, you know, there's a lot of talk in the film about the torch being passed and stuff, and I sort of get that is their way of saying, you know, we're going to keep going with these new characters, whoever survives. And yeah, I got to admit, if Scream 6 does get announced, how are they going to put a 6 in it? Do any of the letters look like a 6? No. But I did appreciate in the film where they actually referred to, you know, Stab 8, you know, being Stab, of course, the horror franchise that's within the movie. They do refer to that as, you know, the B and the 8 sort of thing. So, you know, they did mock that a little bit, which I thought was cool. There was a lot of things that they did mock in this film, you know, in terms of, you know, coming up with another movie all this time later and everything. But it was really clever. It wasn't on the nose the way that Matrix Resurrections did it, where the characters were just flat out saying, Warner Brothers wants to make a new one. Wink. Yeah, this one was definitely a bit more subtle, but yeah, very cleverly done nonetheless. So in terms of what I didn't like about the film, it's not scary. You know, it's the kind of horror film that relies on jump scares that, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of these people that is just completely desensitized to jump scares now, unless they're done well. But this is that sort of thing where, you know, someone will pop out from somewhere with a big loud noise, which just doesn't, you know, I mean, I don't know, if people try to scare me, loud noises don't happen, you know, it's just And that old trope, of course, where, you know, someone opens up a door beside them, and when they shut the door, you're like, oh, is there going to be somebody there? And, or, you know, if they open the front door, that sort of thing. There is actually a scene in the film that really, like, pokes fun at that whole thing, and I thought it was so well done. I was laughing through that scene. It was so good. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it was a joy to watch. And I guess, you know, even though this film, like I said, it is relevant and they have done a really good job with it and everything, it still did kind of feel like we'd seen it before a little bit. But look, overall, you know, I was entertained by this film. That's what it comes down to, you know? I mean, like, Scream 2 and 3, especially 3, my mind was wandering halfway through. I'm sitting on my phone looking at Twitter and stuff and, you know, half paying attention, that kind of thing. This film, no, there's no moments where my attention was wandering or anything like that. I actually thought it was, yeah, quite compelling from start to finish. Like I said, I liked the characters, the dialogue was good, the kills were good, the revelation of who done it was good. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that I really liked about this film, and it quite surprised me. So, yeah, when it comes out on Blu-ray, I will definitely be getting it to add to the collection, and I'm going to give the Scream 5, yeah, whatever it's called, an 8.5 out of 10. Alright, so now that I have given you my thoughts on this movie that I really didn't expect to go and see, I would love to know what you guys think of it. Yeah, let me know what your thoughts on Five Cream are. And also, like, yeah, where do you rank the previous films? Like, you know, Scream through to Scriphorum. Oh, and including this one if you've seen it. So, yeah, let me know what your ranking is down below. And, yeah, thank you for stopping by. Drop me some comments either here, Facebook, or Twitter. All the social media links are in the description below because I like to talk about movies and I would love to talk about movies with you. I'll catch you next time.
Click subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest movie reviews. Skynet will be taking over any day now, so what have you got to lose? Nyah.